The animation used in video games is a lot better now than it was in the beginning. So is the music used in their soundtracks.
In fact, it's opened up a whole new field of music appreciation, if you will. As Whit Johnson reports, you don't need a Wii or an Xbox to enjoy it.
A crowd of 1,100 recently gathered at this courtyard at the Smithsonian's American Art Museum to listen to a 123-piece orchestra. It wasn't the music of Beethoven or Strauss they heard, but arrangements for video games like Sonic the Hedgehog. It was all part of the largest dedication ever by a major museum to the art of video games.
Games are a real hybrid of a lot of different forms of art. You can have a beautiful game with a wonderful story, but if the soundtrack isn't congruent with the game itself, then something's just going to seem off.
Joel Gutman plays trombone for the University of Maryland's Gamer Symphony Orchestra, which has struck a chord among its loyal followers, invoking the power of nostalgia.
In addition to always being a fan of games, I've always been a massive fan of their music, too.
GSO President Alex Ryan, who describes himself as only adequate on trumpet, is a far more serious gamer.
How into video games? Are we talking like up until midnight, 2 in the morning in the dark by yourself for hours on end?
There have been many instances of that. It's pretty much my pastime of choice.
Made up of mostly non-music majors, the GSO is more club than conservatory. Still, for several years now, they've packed their campus concert hall with some of its biggest audiences, an accomplishment the university's School of Music director Robert Gibson says can't be ignored.
They've used some rather brilliant strategies, including inviting the composers of the video games to attend their concerts. And they've had remarkable success with very, very limited resources.
So you guys draw more of a crowd than the upper-level symphony bands?
Yeah, that seems to be the case.
Does that surprise you?
It's certainly interesting, but it's not incredibly surprising. It's stuff that people are familiar with and really want to hear and get a lot more excited about than a 15-minute-long chorale by Bach.
The GSO's success also represents an evolution in the very games they're playing. It's easy to see how animation has advanced over the years, but listen closely, and you'll hear just how sophisticated the soundtrack has become. Finding that perfect balance of picture and sound is also big business, producing a new generation of popular composers like Austin Wintory.
It has become a forum for composers to be able to write music that can stand up with anything else.
Wintory's most recent score for the game Journey debuted last month on Billboard's soundtrack chart at number 8, one notch above the latest from the movie Twilight.
It's the next frontier. Film was the dominant storytelling medium of the 20th century, and I think games, and this exhibit is evidence of that, are poised to be the 21st century's medium.
What is it about video game music?
I'd say it's well, for gamers, it's the memory that you have when you play the game. And for people who might not have played the game, it's just really beautiful music, and anyone can appreciate that.
An appreciation that's turning these familiar orchestral sounds into a new era of popular music. For CBS This Morning, Whit Johnson, Washington.
I don't play video games.
Me neither.
And we don't have them in our house, so I wouldn't have thought of it. But it's so true, especially when Whit made the point about you see how the graphics have evolved and the animation. And I had never thought the music is amazing.
Well, that's what he said. That struck me too, Erica, because I'm not a gamer either. Charlie, you're the gamer at the table, I guess. You see Charlie and Hatari. But this is the thing. When he said that you can anybody can have an appreciation for good music, so that's what I took out of the piece.
Indeed,
I'm not a gamer either. What's wrong with us?
Well, I mean, music can be inspired from all kinds of sources.
True.
That's what I took out of this. I don't actually play video games that much. I do not play video games.
No.
I play real games.
Yeah, me too. Scrabble, anyone?